welcome back to another episode of Beer, Bacon, and Bros. It happened today. Tom Brady officially retired, 22 freaking years. The Jets are celebrating like they just won the Super Bowl. I mean,
they just tired of getting beat by the man.
I get it. Like, he's been out of your division for 2 years, so you probably should have celebrated that. But they are like, they're going wild. They're excited about it.
We have a chance.
Yeah. So apparently he was like 90-23 versus the entire AFC East in his career. That's pretty impressive.
And probably most of those losses came to the Bills, probably?
Yeah, I feel like it would have to.
Miami.
Miami
always played them tough, but then even when the Jets had
like a 3-year run with
Ryan and Sanchez, they knocked him out.
Mark Sanchez. But we're having some conversations around, is Tom Brady, without a question, the GOAT? Is he the greatest football player of all time in the NFL? I got some stats just that I think I cooked up. I wasn't really sure about the conversation, to be honest with you. And then I started kind of looking over some things, and I think...
Great. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think... Like, you can talk about, like, Joe Montana, or what was it, Steve Young? One of the two went, like...
Montana was 4-0.
Yeah, in his 4 Super Bowls.
That's what's been bounced around a lot here recently on 107.5, is who is better, Brady or Montana?
Yeah.
And it depends on what you look at. Like, stats-wise, Brady obviously has... Because he played for 30 friggin' years, he has the most stats. But if you're only looking at like Super Bowls, Montana went and never lost a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Brady's lost 3.
Yeah, he went 10 times and won 7.
Right. So it really depends.
I'll take the 7.
Well, no, right. But so I guess it just depends on what you look at in that sense. It's just like comparing LeBron to Jordan.
Yeah.
Jordan went to 6 of them, won all 6. LeBron's been to 10 and lost 6.
Yeah, but I was gonna say, but LeBron's been to more, has lost more. But yeah, that's a whole different conversation.
Well, no, I know, but it's just like it's the same type of comparison.
Yeah,
it depends on what you're looking at as far as what you want to base what's the greatest of all time on.
If that's the case, if it's rings, Bill Russell's got 11.
Well, right. But I mean, in this certain instance, because Brady played for 22 years, I mean, he's got the most starts, he's got the most touchdowns, he's got the most yards. I mean, yeah, he's got all those stats, and of course, I mean, he's got a great football IQ. I mean, he's definitely proven to be one of the best quarterbacks of all time.
I think hands down, he is the greatest quarterback of all time.
Is he the greatest NFL player of all time?
I don't think that is player.
Yeah, I said now that's a whole different argument.
Yeah.
But he is the greatest quarterback to ever play the game of football.
Yeah. I mean, I'm arguing that he's the greatest player of all time in the NFL.
If he's not,
like Jim Brown or
the guy's got 4,000 more yards than anybody at quarterback, and which is
But he has played 22 years, so
but
that gives him a little bit.
I kind of almost give him credit for that.
No, I agree with that.
But you also got to give credit to it being the modern times for that.
True.
Science and medicine is so much more better than like when Joe Montana was. They didn't have like. Go in for your cupping massage and then sit in this, hyperbolic, this cryobad followed by the hyperbaric chamber or whatever, like all this other stuff. Like, they didn't have all that stuff back then. It was literally like throw some ice on it, take some Motrin,
we'll see in 12 hours for the next practice.
Right.
He's probably one of the only quarterbacks to beat all 32 teams. Now that he's beaten New England.
Yeah.
So he's probably beat every single team that's in the league.
Yeah, he did. And I don't know if he's the only player to ever do it or whether
he's one of the only.
He's one of the.
If he's not the only,
one of the. Like, you can count on a hand.
Yeah.
Like one hand, the number of players that have probably beat all 32 teams in the league.
Yeah. He's got 4,000 more passing yards than anybody. He's got 120 more completions than anybody. He's got 53 more touchdowns than anybody. He's literally the only player to ever win 7 Super Bowls. He's literally the only player to ever go to. He's been to 10 Super Bowls. And the next closest was his former kicker, Gostkowski, with 6.
Yep.
So, and he's the only player to ever win 4 Super Bowl MVPs
and 6 regular MVPs.
Yeah, I didn't even write down his regular MVPs.
Or how many? It might not be 6, but he's got several.
But yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, you could make a very strong argument for him to be the greatest football player of all time. You really can. But I haven't probably looked into it enough personally to see, a Jim Brown or a Barry Sanders or a Joe,
Jerry Rice has 219 touchdowns. And don't get me wrong, Tom's got close to 800. He's going to finish with 7 something, but I mean,
But as a receiver,
that's
that's-
pretty incredible.
Yeah, I'm gonna say as a receiver, that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And so I mean, depending
someone
on
who's
the
not getting the ball every single play.
Yeah, I mean, but depending on or Lawrence Taylor being
the greatest defensive tackle or defensive end of all time.
And then putting him in the conversation with greatest. There's a lot of positions that you got to look at. A lot of people got. So if you take all that away, he though is the greatest quarterback ever do it.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
He may be at least the most accomplished player to ever play in the
That-
NFL.
Well, he's never
Definitely, he's the most accomplished. And
Right.
I do think you have to respect the fact of
Put in 22
everything that
years.
he was surrounded by and the time factor. The 22 years, he's played with so many Hall of Famers or just NFL greats.
Yeah.
I don't think if you threw him in the same time period as like the early 60s and the 70s and all that stuff, he wouldn't have done what he did. He would have been good and probably would have still a great quarterback. He wouldn't have done the 22 years, 10 Super Bowls, all these different records. I do truly believe it was a great coaching staff, great organizations, great teammates, and everything that accumulated together.
Yeah, he got put in a good system.
Yes, he got thrown into the very best situation he possibly could have been in.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. And I think later in his career, it was more about him than it was about the people around him, because you started to see a lot of that talent.
When the talent left?
When the
When he
Atlanta
got-
Super Bowl, the losing to Philadelphia, and then beating the Rams, those three in New England, that really was more about Tom Brady than it was any of the talent that was around.
Right.
I mean, when your top receiver one year is Danny Amendola.
I mean,
Julian Edelman?
Yeah.
A
And-
5'10" former quarterback at Kent State or whatever it was.
Yeah, and I mean, but you're talking about some of the earlier Super Bowls. A lot of it was defense. It was, I mean, he had Randy Moss, Wes Welker. Like he had
some big names.
he had a lot of big names there, and then.
And the defense has won him a lot too.
I mean, I think y'all tell me if I'm crazy. I think that going to Tampa Bay and going and winning one without Bill Belichick helps his argument.
Absolutely.
I
Because
it proved that he actually could go out there and play the game. It wasn't a system thing with Belichick. However, he could have taken what he learned from Belichick
and applied
it to what he did in Tampa.
Y'all are also acting like Bruce Arians ain't just a
No,
phenomenal
Bruce Arians-
fucking coach.
Bruce is a good coach.
Bruce
I
is
mean,
a really
He's not a Belichick.
Yeah,
But I mean, he also that team was very talented.
It was
too.
very
and
talented.
well, they added
That
talent
team,
too. I mean,
yeah. The moment he said he was going there, they went out and picked everybody up. Even Gronk came out of retirement to try to help.
But
It's not like he walked into the
But they
Jets or something and was like, "You guys want to go win the Super Bowl?"
But they still had, I mean, as far as the offense, they still had Godwin, they still had Mike Evans. I mean, he had two top tier receivers, which he hasn't had in 10 years.
Yeah, he probably not had
Since
he had
Welker
and Randy. Yeah, when he put those two
Well,
together.
Probably when Welker and Edelman kind of overlapped, but because
Yeah.
Randy left. But yeah, I mean, he went into a good offense. The defense stepped up around him, and the defense made that team what it was last year.
Yeah.
So
Let's win the Super Bowl.
Let's play this question because I thought this was really interesting when Aaron Rodgers just blew another, great playoff situation, being a number one seed, home game, blah blah. If we were to flop Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, like Tom Brady went to Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers went to New England. Yeah, I know they're about 5 years off age wise, but like let's say for their career wise. If I were to put just for shits and giggles, if I were to put Aaron Rodgers in the situation Tom Brady was in, and I put Tom Brady in the situation Aaron Rodgers was in, would Aaron Rodgers win as many Super Bowls? Would Tom Brady win more Super Bowls than Aaron Rodgers has in his one?
I think Brady wins more than the one. Rodgers doesn't win 5, 6 at New England. They don't win as many.
I think he'll touch 4.
Yeah, I think he might see 4.
He gets that 3 to 5 range.
Yeah. But I think Tom Brady wins 2 or 3 at Green Bay. But you'd hope. I mean, as much as I don't want to say it's a coaching thing. I think at Green Bay.
He had McCarthy.
I mean, you had with McCarthy, and then
Holmgren, and then McCarthy.
And then you had Matt LaFleur now, and you've kind of been on edge with him. You've been on edge with the front office,
not giving you what you asked for.
Yeah. Well, it's not even that I'm asking, be like, hey, look, if you want us to win a Super Bowl, I need more than Devontae Adams.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
You're not giving him weapons.
Yeah. If you want me to perform, I need something other than just
Devontae Adams.
Yeah, I need something. Which Aaron Jones stepped up.
40-year-old Randall Cobb.
Yeah, like you got to give me some talent to help out.
You got to help me help you.
Correct.
Right.
And so maybe Tom's personality, they would have meshed a little bit better. They would have been a little more, say, willing to be like, you know what, you're right. We need to go out and get you another good wide receiver too that we pick up in the 3rd round versus taking 2 corners and a defensive end or whatever, and then like we'll pick up a 5th round receiver out of New Mexico State.
Yeah. We'll try and pull the Pittsburgh Steelers and grab
Yeah.
a great receiver from the MAC in the 3rd round.
Yeah, you know.
So,
But I do think that if Rodgers did get paired up with Belichick, because I think Belichick's one of the greatest coaches of all time.
Yep.
You know, he can arguably go down as the greatest coach of all time.
Yep.
Outside of Lombardi and
Even
it was the
later conversation.
But still, then to get that kind of coaching staff and coaching ability around Rodgers at that point in time in his career, like you're saying, I agree, 3 to 5 wins there.
So either way, we're saying Aaron Rodgers wins less and Tom Brady wins more. So in essentially, we're saying that Tom Brady is better than Aaron Rodgers,
Yes.
no matter the situation. Yeah.
Correct.
No.
I think now.
I think
pure
Rodgers
arm
has
talent.
I think Rodgers has better arm talent.
Pure arm talent is kind
He's
of like
got the better-
Jamarcus Russell. Pure arm talent, dude got a cannon. Outside of that, he ain't got nothing. Rodgers got a freaking cannon. Brady just has that
The IQ.
awareness of what is going on to be able to read a play before it goes, and just I don't know his ability to break it down in his mind before things happen and see how the field plays out. I think is what would edge out Tom Brady over Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. I thought it was an interesting conversation. I thought it was an interesting point.
Well, I was going to ask, obviously Brady's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, probably 100%er, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Has there been unanimous?
In football, I'm sure
Yeah.
there has been.
I'm sure there has.
Yeah.
But outside of the one for baseball, and it was a relief pitcher who deserved it, but that's
100%.
another story.
He was the greatest at his position.
But do you think that the Deflategate and Spygate and all that are going to hurt him in any way?
Deflategate might, Spygate would be more of
That's
a
more Belichick.
Yes,
but,
it's more of a management issue than it is a player issue.
But Deflategate was
Now, if it
Brady.
if it was him, purposely saying, "Hey, I need you to let out some of it," or if maybe it was somebody, say, on the equipment managers who were like, "Hey, maybe if we take a little bit out here."
I mean, between that and
I mean, at that level, you should be able to tell whether or not your ball's properly inflated or not. At that point in time in your career.
well, between like Deflategate and the Tuck rule, because that was another big controversial thing was the whole Tuck rule.
Yeah, the choke rule is not really a controversy. That's just like a blown call in a situation if you view it that way.
But
That's not something that
That
Tom Brady cheated this game on. It
Yeah.
was something that the refs either missed the call or got the call right.
yeah,
So, and same thing, like I said, with the Spygate, that's kind of more of
that's more
a
Belichick.
management
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
coaching stuff. But as far as player issues, Tom Brady hadn't faced anything other than this so-called Deflategate, which still could be, you could put on
That
the-
could be on the
Equipment
management too.
managers, yeah. So, I mean, that could,
No, I mean, I personally think it's going to affect him.
there's
in
nothing
any
that
way,
Tom Brady did. It's not like
So we're down by 20.
he popped positive, for PEDs,
Oh, no.
multiple times in his career or anything like that. So there's nothing that he did to the game or affected the game in any way, shape, or form that personally I think would tarnish his record or tarnish his
right?
ability to be
I mean,
an asterisk in the Hall of Fame for something
right?
weird.
I mean, because he's going to be a Hall of Famer.
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
There's no doubt about it. So,
I mean, he'll be first ballot. I mean,
oh, absolutely.
And if from what I was reading that they don't announce the actual votes, so you never know like who's unanimous and whatnot in the NFL Hall of Fame. But I would believe that Tom Brady will probably be the first unanimous Hall of Fame voter. If it hasn't never happened before,
Yeah.
he'll be the one.
I'm going to go ahead and tell you there probably has been, because I think they said Peyton Manning's Hall of Fame discussion took less than a minute.
Yeah, I mean,
So I'm pretty much going to say
Oh, yeah.
Peyton Manning was definitely unanimous.
yeah,
Who would say no?
I mean,
Yeah.
No one could say no.
There'll be one writer out there that'll say no, just like there was one writer that said Ken Griffey didn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame.
yeah, the 90.
Or there was somebody that said Chipper Jones didn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always going to be that one person who's going to say no.
What was it? Or like this year's like Aaron Rodgers for MVP, and you had that one writer out of Chicago.
No.
Just said no, Blake, because he.
I mean, he didn't like Aaron Rodgers
Yeah.
personally. He said he was a jackass.
Yeah, so he's like,
Well, he is a
yeah.
jackass, but he can play football.
Yeah. So,
Hey, who cares what kind of kid you are? That's not.
Yeah, you can't let your personal bias get in the way.
But it always happens. I think.
They do.
Yeah,
But
they have to.
especially when you put it in the hands of writers, they're going to put their personal bias in there.
Yeah.
So, all right. Any other thoughts?
No, I think that's right.
So,
Yeah.
absolutely greatest quarterback of all time.
Guaranteed.
Arguably top 3 NFL player of all time.
I would say top 3. If he's
Top 3, yeah. If not, arguably greatest NFL player of all time. If not, definitely top 3. Greatest quarterback of all time. Nobody's gonna do what he's
no
doing.
one's going to touch those stats.
I mean,
There's not going to be another quarterback that's going to touch those stats.
he was a once in a generational talent. You know,
He was a Jordan, essentially.
he was.
Yeah.
You know, that 2000 to 2022, he was it. It doesn't matter if he was 22 or 42. He was it.
Yep.
You know, and
I would say that I don't think it's 100% pure raw talent. If he had gotten drafted to like the Browns
It's
or
definitely a
the
system.
Jets or the
Yeah.
Dolphins, something like that, he probably at the most would have played like in league for like 10, 11 years,
Okay.
if not less than that.
Okay.
I mean, you get molded by Bill Belichick, surrounded by a Hall of Fame talent. You're gonna have a good fucking career.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely agree he had a lot of advantages from player personnel, organization, coach, scheme, system. I 100% agree that he had a lot of advantages for him. So
Yeah, just playing under Belichick and his system definitely helped.
Yeah.
It helped his
but it
career.
wasn't though he was a rookie.
It wasn't the whole thing. No.
Yeah, no, it's not
No.
like he was a standout. Oh, he's a first round
He was-
pick as a rookie.
He's not Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, he wasn't
Yeah.
expected to play.
No.
The only reason he got
I mean, let's put it this way: at a certain point, he could not beat Drew Bledsoe out for a job.
yeah,
yeah.
that's when yeah.
Yeah.
He came out rookie year not as a starter, and
Yeah,
then
he was what, second at best, maybe third string at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So clearly, maybe he had some developmental issues coming out of college that they're like, you know what, the guy's more
And
experienced.
he ran like a 5.240.
Sit a year or two, learn, study, learn the
Right.
game at this level, and now look what he's done.
Yeah.
It's like you're saying, it
Doesn't matter where you get picked. First or 253rd, it don't matter.
Nope.
Well, you heard it here first. Tom Brady, greatest quarterback of all time, possibly greatest football player of all time.